Hey everybody, this is Sithra, and I decided I was going to make a series of videos here on our current ARK playthrough. As some of you may know, the Extinction expansion just came out, which is supposed to be the last expansion. Has some exciting ends to the storyline, and I've pointedly not read up on it in spoilers. But the wife and I and the kids were all excited about playing through with it, so we decided we would get started again on ARK. It's been a few months since we've last played. We've gone through and done all the boss content up through the Aberration extinction before. At this point, I have like 1,300 hours or so into this game, so it's one of the most played games I have actually in my library. So I'm pretty experienced in the game. We're all pretty experienced in the game. We know what we're doing. We've been playing on unofficial PvP servers basically since the game first was released on Steam in early access. But we were really excited to do a new playthrough, start from scratch and do the full progression here. So we ended up setting on the Ragnarok map. The last time we played on Ragnarok, it was like just this top half of the map. We had set up right here in the middle of this canyon. It was actually a pretty cool spot. We were up on this like rock pillar that had a land bridge over. And then we had ways to go down. And since this canyon, it's not explored again for whatever reason, but this canyon goes all the way out to the ocean. So we were actually able to bring ocean critters all the way up here and bring them back out. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get them back out, to be quite honest, but it just took a lot of time to go through everything. But that was a lot of fun. We liked the map overall. I actually have the opinion that it's the best map overall, even though it's not part of like the core storyline. And so we decided to do that. Also, we've already done the other bosses, so as far as doing the tech tier progression, we figured this would be a little bit easier. Specifically, that alpha dragon is such a bear to deal with. You really have to be breeding up Rexes hardcore for it to do it legit. I know most of the videos I've seen on it show people bugging it out. We did actually do it legit, and we did do it with Rexes. We also did it with the Theras as well. But yeah, anyway, so basically that's our agenda for this. We're going to play through, we're going to build up. Once this is done, our plan is to move to Aberration and go back through that content again. When we had actually done Aberration, we had gone to that and then went over to the island and did the bosses kind of out of order for it. So we were going to do it start to finish, kind of explore the storyline a bit in that regard. So we ended up spawning over here. I didn't record this early part because I didn't think of recording this whole stuff. But we spawned over here. Server has 5 times XP and harvest. It's running S Plus and a couple other quality of life mods that are really nice. Some of the reusable stuff is on it. Yeah. Oh, and the cell spyglass. God, I love that mod. It's so handy. Anyway, spawned over there. Kind of tooled around for a bit. Ended up building a raft, put our basic stuff like a refining forge, got a smithy up and some of that on the raft. And basically, we're just kind of cruising along the coast, killing some stuff, getting some experience. Went along over here, cut down to Jerboa Island, where we first took on a whole bunch of metal. And we also got about 10 or 20 Jerboas. And we kind of decided we were going to build somewhere in this area. We like the idea of being near the wyverns that are kind of up here. And like I said, last time we played, this whole like southern part of the map was just not in play yet. So it's all a new area for us. And usually we like to try to build somewhere that's a bit higher end, because at this point we're experienced players. You know, we know what we're doing. And when you start in the newbie zones, after a while you start to realize there's nothing but newbie crap around you. We also like to try to be between a few biomes so you have kind of easy access. So we've got desert over here. I'm not super experienced with this yet. I believe mantis spawn here. They might be a little bit further east. We got wyverns nearby. And in this particular area, it looks like we got some Ankleo, some Doeds, lots of Argents, Raptors, T-Rexes, Carnos. Seen a couple Allosaurs already. You know, plus all the ocean stuff easily available. So I'm figuring it's going to be a little bit harder to set up, but it won't be too bad. So anyway, we came in here. We had like 12 Jerboas. And as we were exploring at night, we had parked the raft, started to walk away from a bit, and like turned around to see a T-Rex had just aggroed on it. My wife got to the raft right about the same time the T-Rex did. He did one bite and killed all but one of the Jerboas we had just tamed. So we ended up running uphill and doing a base. Here, I'll actually start showing you things now. So, spawning at the raft real quick. Yeah, as you can see from the wonderful green pillar, I had died here. Left this parked right here because we have silica pearls, and I'll see if I'm able to grab some real fast. Or if that... No, Megalodon's still here. Buggered off yet. So I'm just going to leave it for now, but... Anyway, we ended up pulling all the S+ stuff we built off the raft other than the bed. So we kind of got it as a nice little mobile spawn point. And of course it's night now. So we ended up running over. This is actually on the other side of that little peninsula, as you can see. Just because that's where it was shallow enough, we could get some oil and silica pearls. That's usually the biggest pain, is getting the first ones before you have scuba or any water diving or anything like that. Been leaving the rafts a little bit off water here just because we have so many predators. If I'm spawning there, I don't want to spawn getting eaten. Alright, so you can see this kind of whole north-south peninsula right there. We're about at the middle right now. What we've basically done... Okay, don't worry. He's not okay, just double checking if I wanted to... basically, when we first made landfall, we did about what I'm doing right now. Ran just straight uphill as far as we could go. That cryo's still on me. Base figured to get up to the peak of a mountain. We'd explored that peak over there too, and ended up not doing that specifically because there's a lot of obsidian. And while you don't need that much obsidian, we didn't want to block the spawn on it since it was kind of handy to have it here. See that right there? You can see our little small hut. Around a bit here. The one jerboa that's alive there is the one that actually survived our onslaught. Yeah, so we have our little hill right here. We'd actually come up from the other side, but there was an oil vein right here. We were able to throw one of those pumps on it. And what we did here was just a very, very small little hut. Can't really see right now. There. Okay. So you can see it's just a small little hut. It's a 4x3, pretty much just big enough to get us started. We don't have much going on here yet. Grab up here, I guess. Yeah, I've been running down to the raft there to grab the silica pearls. There. To grab the silica pearls so that we can get some electronics up. We haven't built any of it at this base. We've actually been taking it over. So yeah, after exploring this little piece of island a bit, we tried to explore a bit north and wanted to get closer, so we got to the next ridge over. So not this one right here, but the next one beyond that we were looking at. It had like a lot of metal and resources that were pretty good, so I was kind of excited about using that one until... I love this reusable parachute, it's so handy. Just for little things like that. I'll show you real quick. I'm coming up here. Yeah, so anyway, we thought it was really great. We're starting to harvest it. It was actually in the process of starting to tame an Inkleo over there. Over on this ridge line. Around there-ish. And doing great, and I heard some flapping. I had seen an Argent, so I wasn't too worried about it. But all of a sudden I lit on fire, and it was not an Argent, it was a Wyvern, so... that was a little bit closer than we intended to be. So we ended up abandoning that plan and decided to explore down south instead. I'll show you in just a second here. I don't think it's back up yet. That little pond right there has some crystal available. So you have some of those core resources. You see there's metal there. There were some others you probably couldn't see because it was dark, but there is metal nearby. It's definitely one of the things I've learned with this game is it is your best practice to have metal for sure close to your base. And especially then if you can get silica pearls and a source of oil as you get more towards the end game, that's going to be really important. Then obviously rocks and trees, but those aren't too hard to find. So we did pick up the oil pump. Through this stuff. So as you see, we've got a little bit of development here. What am I up to? Level 65. Actually, not what I thought. Yeah, We've got the stacks mod on this server, nice little quality of life ones. Okay, so there we go. So you can kind of see, looking downhill, this all goes to lower elevation down this way. So we ended up exploring and found that island at the far side was actually pretty cool, so we decided to set up there. It's a little bit further from everything, but that's okay. Also, we get to do this method of getting down to it, which I think is just amazing. Yeah, so you can see we got a couple sources of water. This server with its S+ settings is anywhere, and so that's not such a big deal. If you were on a server that didn't do that, you still have sources of water nearby. You see more melee available. As we get over this little area, this awesome ruins bridge that we thought were really cool. And you see there's a part where it was out, so we had to build our own little bridge. We got a lot of megalinias down here, which are kind of a pain for getting started, because if they bite you once when you're a little leveled up, they pretty much kill you. So here's our base here, which I think is going to end up being our main one. Couple Loby tames. We had another raptor that was like the first level 25 tame, and he did not do so well. This is just a Loby Ankleo. I had a little bit of bad luck with it. One thing to note, so on S+, this S+ feeding trough has a really long range, which is kind of awesome. So you can see this is like the entire island is covered with it. We can actually have some sea dinos that we could store somewhere down there, and they'd still be within trough range, so that's really cool. The downside of it, though, is S+ doesn't allow resources to respawn within the S+ trough range. And my dogs are barking like crazy, so I'm going to give this a minute. I'll probably cut that part. Totally ruining my video. Dogs are assholes. Still barking. Okay, there we go. So I think the dogs are done being assholes for the moment. So as I was saying, this S+ trough range, you can see the full range, and it does not allow anything to respawn here. So we cleared off the island basically as far as trees, rocks. There's a couple metal nodes in here too. So if we pull up the trough, they would respawn, but long term I think what we'd be looking at is basically developing this island right here, so that we'd basically have the whole thing be like our base between structures and dinos. Oh, that's what we should do. And right down here there is an oil main on it too, so we'll have a source of oil. Bam, there we go. Should be a pretty secure place PvP wise. We'd actually specifically put this down here to block spawns. The nice thing is we were trying to get the megalanias to stop spawning here, because like I said, especially as Lobies, one bite of them and the poison will pretty much kill you. So even if you like bola them, manage to kill them before they can do anything else to you, it's pretty much instant death and it sucks. Yeah, even from just right here, you can kind of stand, pull out this wonderful cell scope, and check everything else down here. That's kind of what we do. Like, select that 140. I just said that might, well, it's going to die, but it might be worth a tame otherwise. Yeah, there's a 145. So I've been doing that, keeping my eyes out for Rex. We've had, as far the highest I've seen was the 90. Doesn't look like they're a common spawn here, but they do spawn, maybe uncommonly. They're not super rare. But they're kind of a pain to tame, so I was going to wait and tame one that I'm going to keep if at all possible. Oh yeah, there's a water vein, yeah, right there, if you can see. So you could build out there too. Let me show you that path. There. Okay, so this little area, so you could actually build out on this if you wanted. I know how this works when we build. I tend to be the utilitarian PvP oriented person. I like to build small bases that you can hide and some of that kind of stuff. My wife and some of the other friends we play with, especially the other females of the group, tend to be very much into the taming all the cute critters and get into like animal hoarding type stuff. And I know that we're not going to be able to keep a small base like that. So I figured something like this would be great because we basically have this whole island. Potentially we could even make like a fence around it, although I don't know that we need to. But this will give us a lot of room, so if we want to have a whole bunch of dinos. And likewise, we know we're doing boss fights, so we're going to want to set up some breeding things. So we're probably going to have some sort of a T-Rex pen where we'll get 20 or so T-Rexes that are like ready to go. And once we get to that tech stuff, we're going to have like the tech teleporter and some of that stuff, so we can ideally do it right from here. The first one's going to be a pain. You can't even see it from here, but there's a green obelisk up north there. It's about... I can't show you with the cursor right here. Yeah, it's up there in that green area just north of us, about where I'm pointing at. Anyway, that's the closest one to us. And over here on this side we have a wonderful desert that I have not really explored at all. A lot of times I usually check the wiki on the maps and stuff. I specifically didn't on this one just for fun's sake, because it is kind of cool to explore. Also, I don't know, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, also, the Ragnarok server here is pretty brand new. If you... Yeah, day 62. Basically, we were, like, I think the first people on this server whatsoever. It's not super populated yet. I'm hoping it gets a little bit more populated. So, security's not as big of a deal, and I'm not super worried about grabbing the best place ever. Which is mostly because, honestly, we don't have a lot of time to play right now. Busy people, and we have holidays coming up, and yeah. So we'll probably got more like a few hours a night to play than doing some serious hardcore stuff, like when we go on a server and try to pick fights with everybody. So we're going to be friendly people this time around. Not to say that we won't do any PvP by any means, but we're definitely not going to be as aggressive on it. That seems to be probably having a desync issue. Yeah, I can't go away. Okay, so I'm getting desync. Anyway, this is the start of what we've got. I wanted to have this to show you. This is about day 2, day 3 on the server. Probably all together we've only done like 6 hours or so, would be my guess. It's super close. So it's enough to get a few, get basic levels. As soon as we get up on a source of cementing paste, we could have already had a metal base at this point. There we go. Yeah, we're still keeping an eye out for a good Argent. Yeah, currently cementing paste is the thing that's been holding us up. We've got at least a little bit of crystal source. We've got plenty of oil. We've got plenty of metal available and all that. Yeah, so there you go. That's the basic intro. I'm going to probably cut this in with some other stuff, and I will continue to show progress on the channel. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not having a lot of time to devote to it right this particular second, so it won't be the most crazy meteoric pace, but it's something I'm going to plan on working on at least a few hours a week, and probably like a couple hours a day or so as we get going with it. Cool. So I will see you guys later.